Hi, everyone, and welcome to our live class. I'm really excited about this week because we're covering our first cheat sheet, and it's the American Coffee Shop cheat sheet. Hi there, and welcome. Perfect. So, sorry, I just started a minute ago, and I think I made an error with the audio. So, we are live, and welcome, Mr. Park. Thank you so much for joining. So, I'm really excited today because we are doing our first class on our cheat sheet, and it's the American Coffee Shop cheat sheet. So, every month we'll be doing a new cheat sheet, and basically what a cheat sheet is, and it's a common term in English. It's like if you were taking a test and let's say you wanted to cheat on the test and you made yourself like a small card with all of the most important information you needed for the test, that's what we call a cheat sheet. But we'll also use it in other situations where it's basically all the most important information on a small sheet. Or in this case, we have 3 worksheets, a 3-page worksheet. So the point of the cheat sheets is to help you really prepare for the most useful, the most important English situations, like real life English situations. And so, for example, our first one here for going to a coffee shop in the US, this has all of the information and all the questions that you'll probably hear or be asked, and then all the answers you can give. And the reason that we think this will be so helpful is because, of course, there's so much English material like this out there. And, you might practice for a coffee shop or a restaurant, any travel situation. But then when you get into the situation, the worker asks you a totally different question than something you've studied. Because languages are like that, right? They're complicated. There's so many ways to ask different things. And so in our cheat sheets, we have provided all of the most likely questions that you'll hear. So we have them in several ways that they'll ask, all the important things, the clarifications that they'll ask you as part of the checkout process, part of the ordering process, and then just the most easy and basic way that you can answer so you can be confident in these situations. So, as a warm-up question, if you're on the line with us, can you share what is your favorite or your go-to drink that you order at a cafe or a coffee shop? And if you remember go-to, that's been one of our words of the day, and it just means what's the most common normal thing that you go to. So what is your go-to cafe drink? And for me, my go-to drink, it really depends. In the US, I love chai tea lattes, and you can get them iced or hot. I usually do hot, but in the summer I'll do iced. And you know what's funny is in Korea, usually chai tea latte is on the menu at Starbucks, but I think they're not popular here because if ever I try to order one, they always say that they don't carry it or they're out. So I think it's just not a popular drink, even though it's a standard Starbucks drink. But in the US, most coffee shops have a chai tea latte. Okay, perfect. So let's jump into our cheat sheet. And I'll share for coffee, I like just to get a regular latte, like what I call a regular coffee, which we'll talk about what that is when we get into the cheat sheet. And I like to get a little bit of milk, and I drink hot coffee most of the time. So Mr. Park likes iced Americano. I am not surprised because that is for sure the most popular drink in Korea. So moving to Korea as a foreigner, we always hear that iced Americanos are popular, but I actually didn't realize how popular they are until I went to a Starbucks in the winter, and I feel like 9 out of 10 drinks coming out were iced Americano. I was really surprised because there was snow on the ground. So it's kind of a cute thing where I feel like iced Americano is more popular in Korea than probably anywhere else in the world. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen and we'll look at the cheat sheet. Oh, perfect. So, I want to answer one of the questions real quick in the chat. So, cunning paper, is that Konglish? I think so, because Zach and I talked about this when we started making the cheat sheets. So, I think a cunning paper is basically the same thing as a cheat sheet. Because, the word cunning in English sort of means that you'll do anything necessary to get what you want, even if it's something a little bit bad. That's what being cunning is. So a cunning paper and a cheat sheet, the meanings are the same, but the words are different. But in English, we usually say a cheat sheet. So yes, I think cunning paper is Konglish. Oh, look, and it looks like somebody else's go-to drink is Americano Misto. Nice. Sounds really good. Okay, so here we are, the American coffee shop cheat sheet. So first, I will say that a coffee shop in the US and in most countries, English-speaking countries, is exactly the same as a cafe in Korea. What's interesting is the word cafe, if you say that in the US, a cafe is a little bit different. It's not a very common word, and usually it means somewhere serves light food and drinks for lunch. So a cafe is more like a small lunch restaurant. So it's kind of interesting, which is why we called it coffee shop, the American coffee shop cheat sheet. So let's start with the most basic things that you will hear. So usually when you walk up to the counter, the barista, and who is the barista? Do you know that word? It's the worker, right? It's the person who works at Starbucks. We call them the barista. And I'm actually not sure if that same word is used in Korean. Maybe it is. But when you go to the barista, oftentimes they'll either just stare at you, right? They might not say anything, or they'll say, "What can I get for you today?" And they might say it really fast. So make sure to listen closely. "What can I get for you today?" They also might say, "What can I get started for you?" That's a really common one as well. "What can I get started for you?" So if they say it fast, it might be a little confusing, but they just mean they're ready to take your order. So then you just say, "Hi, can I get an iced Americano, please?" So that's easy. I'm sure you already know. Or you can just say, "I'll have an iced Americano." That is very natural. So you don't need to say one, like I know it's common that if you're a beginner, you might think to say iced Americano 1. It's much more natural to just say, "I'll have an iced Americano." "Can I get an iced Americano?" Very natural English. And if you're not ready, or if you are ready, they might ask, "Do you need a minute?" if you're still looking at the menu. So that just means you need more time, right? If you're looking at the menu, you're not ready, they might say, "Do you need a minute?" And you can say, "Yes, I need a minute," or "I just need a minute." So that means a minute. It's not exactly a minute, right? But we say that in English a lot. We'll say like, "I need a minute." "Oh, I just need a few secs," right? We say seconds, sec. We say that a lot, and it just means a little bit of time. So "I just need a minute," it means I'm not ready. And then if you're ready, you can just say, "I'm ready." All right, so for here or to go, this is another easy one, but I want to share cultural tips or just differences in the coffee shop cafe culture. And actually, in most coffee shops in the US, they might not ask for here or to go. So most cups will actually be like a paper cup because the laws are different, the culture is just a little different. And so it depends on what country you're in, but in the US, usually it will just come by default in a to-go paper type cup. And I'm not sure if you can even get it in a mug at a lot of places, but some specialty coffee shops, you might be able to get it in a mug. Now, it's different in Europe. There's a lot of European countries that will do to here or to go, or they sometimes call it takeaway, right? Like if you've been to England, they'll call to go, it's takeaway. Then if you drink it there, then they might put it in a cup or a mug, a glass mug, and it might feel more familiar. All right, so if they do ask for here or to go, then obviously you can just say for here, please, or to go, please. So easy, very clear. And then this is another difference. A lot of coffee shops ask for your name, and it's not a good system. I feel like they should change it, but it's still the system in a lot of coffee shops, especially Starbucks in the US. They will ask for your name. So this is where it gets confusing because you might have a worker who just doesn't know a lot of names. It's even happened to me where they don't understand my name. They haven't heard it, even though I have a common enough American name. So it's always a good idea to spell your name. Or I've even had friends where they just make up a name that's not actually theirs, but it's easy just to tell the worker. But the challenge there is that you have to obviously remember your name when they call you, right? But they actually will write your name on the cup and then give it to you. So that's sort of the norm at Starbucks and a lot of coffee shops in the US. Okay, so that was a lot of explaining. Let's do a quick recap. What can I get for you today? Hi, can I get an iced Americano, please? What can I get started for you? I'll have an iced Americano. Do you need a minute? I just need a minute. For here or to go? To go, please. Can I get a name for the order? Sure, it's Ellen. Ellen. That's my name. Easy, right? Okay, so that's the easiest situation. And then let's get into checking out. So sometimes they'll tell you your total, sometimes they won't. It'll just appear on the screen, right? But they might just say, your total is $4. Say, okay, great. If you have a card or cash, just say that, right? I'll pay with card. I'll pay with cash. Say okay. Now, a lot of restaurants, like counter service restaurants and coffee shops, have these screens, right? If anyone's traveled to the US lately, I'm sure you've seen that, where they have almost like an iPad or a screen. They'll turn it around. You pop your card in. They'll turn it around, and you have to put a tip if you want to give a tip. So just so you know, a cultural secret, at a coffee shop, you don't have to tip. I know it's confusing culturally, but you only have to tip in the US at a restaurant if you have an actual like waiter who comes to your table and serves you. So if you're just ordering anything at the counter, you don't have to tip. Don't feel pressured because the prices are so high these days as well. So usually what they'll say is, if you get one of these screens, is they say you can tap, insert, or swipe when you're ready. So that basically means, they have a card thing. You can tap your card, insert it, or swipe it, because they accept all types of credit cards when you're ready. And they say it really fast. So this is a good one to make yourself familiar with if you haven't learned it. They'll say like, you can tap, insert, or swipe when you're ready. They'll say it like that. And you don't have to say anything. You just pay with your card. And yes, they might ask, would you like a receipt? Easy. Or a lot of times the screens, they have the option. It'll be like, do you need a receipt? And you can just put no or yes. You can just say, yes, please, or no, thank you. Now, this is a good one that sounds basic, but in Korean, the polite thing is to say, like, 괜찮아요, right? I don't need it. It's okay. But in English, if you say it's okay, it can be a little bit unclear. They might be confused and think about, do they mean yes or no? It's much more clear to just say no, thank you, And it's not rude. It's completely normal and completely polite to just say, no, thank you. It's easiest for everyone. All right. And then once you've paid and you're ready, oftentimes, especially at Starbucks, they'll say, it'll be right out at the end of the counter, which basically means, you order here and the drink comes out at the end of the counter on the other side. Really common at a lot of coffee shops. They'll be like, okay, it'll be right out. It'll be right at the end of the counter. And they'll kind of mumble. And you can just say, great, thank you. Or they might say, we'll call your name when it's ready. Great, you already gave them your name. But listen carefully because they might have messed it up. Or they'll just say, we'll have that right out for you. Perfect. So let's recap. Your total is $4. And think about what you would say, or you can even say it along with me. Okay, I'll pay with a card. Turn around the screen. You can tap, insert, or swipe when you're ready. Great. Put in your card. You don't have to tip. Would you like a receipt? No, thank you. Great. It'll be right at the end of the counter. I've never worked at a coffee shop, so even me saying it fast is tough. Great, thank you. We'll call your name when it's ready. We'll have that right out for you. Are you getting it? Are any of these phrases really new for you? I'd be interested if any of these phrases are really unfamiliar because they're very common in American coffee shops. Okay. Next page. So, if you order coffee, these are some of the questions that you will hear. So, we touched on this a little bit, but in at least the US, and it's different than in Europe or Australia, but in the US, a regular coffee, a normal coffee, is a hot coffee that is like a drip coffee or a brewed coffee. It's not espresso coffee, which is interesting, right? Because people think Americano is American coffee, but it's not. Americano is what people invented when they didn't have American coffee, but they wanted American coffee and they only had espresso. So they just took espresso and they mixed water. Anyway, in America, most people don't drink espresso-based coffee. We drink just like drip coffee or filter coffee. So if somebody just has coffee and offers you one, like in the office, they're like, oh, we have coffee. It's probably just hot brewed coffee. So if you order a coffee or if you have a coffee and that's the only option, which in some cases, there might only be hot drip coffee, like if you're at an office or an office event or a conference where they're giving you free coffee and someone's serving it, they might say room for cream. So room for cream just means that they don't fill the coffee all the way to the top, so there's room for you to add your own cream. And you can just say, yes, please, or no, thank you, if you have a regular coffee. And then oftentimes also cream and sugar, because that's the norm. That's the normal thing for regular coffee in the US. So you can say, yes, please, and even ask, where is it? Like room for cream. Yes, where is the cream? And culturally, at a lot of places, including Starbucks, there's like a little kiosk, like a separate counter where you can serve your own cream and sugar. But not all coffee shops have that, right? Sometimes if you want cream, you have to ask for it. So, but room for cream is pretty common, especially at Starbucks. And then cream and sugar, it's the same thing. You say yes, you say no, you could say only cream, and they'll typically tell you where it is, or you can ask. So both, please. Only cream, thanks. Or if you don't want anything, you just say black. Black is fine. And that would apply to both hot drinks and cold drinks, right? If you get like an iced Americano or if you get an iced coffee and you don't want anything in it, you can just say black. black coffee. Nothing's in it. And here's another one too. We have the regular drip coffee in the US is like dark roast, medium roast, light roast. Sometimes there's only one option, but they might say medium roast, okay? That means it's like a medium strength coffee. So you can say, yes, that's fine. Or if you like it stronger and darker, you can say dark roast, please. I actually like to order dark roast at Starbucks because I feel like the coffee's a little bit weak. Or light roast if you have it. Okay, let's practice, and you can practice along with me. Room for cream? Yes, please. No, thank you. Yes, please. Where is the cream? And they might say, oh, it's right over there. You can help yourself. And actually, we just posted a short today where our phrase was help yourself. So if you don't know it, you can go watch. It means go and help yourself to what you need. Serve yourself. Medium roast, okay? Yes, that's fine. Dark roast, please. Or light roast if you have it. Okay. So we'll start moving a little quicker because we have 10 minutes left. So we're doing well. Okay, so here is the iced Americano section because I knew that a lot of our audience is iced Americano drinkers, just like on the call today. So if you order just an iced Americano, most coffee shops will have it, and they might just say what size, small, medium, or large. So yes, Starbucks does have the tall, grande, venti, but you can still say small, medium, or large, and it's totally fine. I usually do that. And they might ask how many shots, because it's shots of espresso, right? And it's a less common drink in the US. So there's not like there might not be a standard iced Americano. So you could say 1 shot is fine, or can I get 2? Can I get 2 shots if you like it strong? And they might ask any sweetener or flavor. And you can just say, no thanks, just black, if you just want a plain iced Americano. Or if you want flavor, you can ask and say, yes, 1 pump of vanilla or some other flavor. I think vanilla is a very normal one. All right, so let's practice quickly. What size? Medium, please. How many shots? Can I get 2? Can I get 1? 2 shots is fine. You know, you can change these up, right? Any sweetener or flavor? No thanks, just black. All right. And what about specialty drinks? Because these are really common in the US, at Starbucks, other places. So we have a lot of famous seasonal drinks. Like, have you heard of a pumpkin spice latte? Well, in the fall in the US, pumpkin spice lattes are all the rage. Every year, they're very popular. So if you order something fun like that, they might ask, whole skim oat soy or almond milk, right? There's people in the US have a lot of different dietary habits. So a lot of people will ask for almond milk instead of regular milk or skim milk. So they might give you the options. And so if you hear all these words, that's what they mean. So if you just want regular milk, you can just say whole milk is fine. That's usually what I say. So whole skim oat soy or almond milk. Oat milk, please. Whole milk is fine. Or they might just say whole milk okay, and you can say yes, that's fine. Whip on top. Do you want whipped cream? Yes, please, or no thanks. Do you want to add sweetener or flavor? Again, you can just say sure and tell them your flavor, or ask what flavors they have, or just say no extra flavors, thanks. Or just no thank you. You can always just say no thank you. And then drizzle, okay. So drizzle is like when they put the caramel or the chocolate or something on top, which is common, and they might just say drizzle, okay. That means, do you want the drizzle? You can drizzle is fine. No drizzle, please. All right. And then we have just a few more here. So these are just other helpful sentences that you might need. So, sorry, can you say that again? if you don't understand what they're saying, right? Or, excuse me, I think this is the wrong drink, if they give you the wrong drink. Or if you want, or let's say it's kind of an interesting specialty place, it's not busy, you can say, what do you recommend? Or what's the most popular drink here? And I'm sure they'll have recommendations for you. Or that's all, thanks, at the end, right? When you're done ordering and they don't know if you're finished, you could just say, that's all, thanks. Or sounds great, thank you. Just that's a nice response at the end. They'll say, oh, your drink will be out in a sec. You can say, sounds great, thank you. All right, everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed our first cheat sheet. So the next time we'll do the restaurant cheat sheet, which is a restaurant when you sit down at a table, right? You'll go to the host stand, the whole process of being seated, ordering, they come check on you. We're going to go through all the things that the workers will ask you or that the waiters will ask. All right. And as usual, if you have any questions, then you can go ahead and pop them in the chat. Okay. So let's go through our words of the day in the last 5 minutes. All right. First, ecstatic. So ecstatic just means so happy. It's a really strong word, and it's fun to use when something really good happens. So let's do some shadowing. I'll read the sentence, if you can see them here. It's as big as we can go. And then repeat after me for some speaking practice. Okay, ready? I was ecstatic when I got the acceptance letter. I was ecstatic when I got the acceptance letter. Next, we are ecstatic to announce that we are having a baby. A little faster, please repeat. We are ecstatic to announce that we are having a baby. Perfect. Next, overbearing. So somebody who's overbearing is they're just too much, right? Oftentimes it's used for a boss or someone's parents, and oftentimes it's because they're always trying to control a situation. But we can also use it if somebody's very nice and kind, but let's say their energy is so high and they're always talking, and being around them makes you feel a little bit tired, right? Like you want to get away from them. You can also say that they're nice but overbearing. So it's kind of usually overbearing. There's a feeling attached to it, like you feel overwhelmed. Okay, so let's do some shadowing here. Please repeat. I quit my job because of my overbearing boss. I quit my job because of my overbearing boss. Okay, next. Her parents are a little overbearing. Her parents are a little overbearing. And one more. She tends to be overbearing in conversations. She tends to be overbearing in conversations. Okay, just a couple more. Next is meal prep. So to meal prep is to make meals in advance, like for the week. And it's most commonly used in two situations. One, parents, a lot of mothers will meal prep lunches for the week for their kids. So they plan all on Sunday, for example, and it's very easy to have food ready. And then the other thing is people who are really into workout culture. And this is the most common. You know, somebody who is like a bodybuilder, people who are really into being in good physical shape, they all meal prep. So, you know, on Sunday, they'll cook a bunch of chicken and vegetables and, you know, put an individual meal for every day in the fridge. So they have good, healthy meals available. And I'm going to pause because I see a question and I want to make sure that I address it. I find it interesting that you pronounce acceptance like acceptance. Accept. Yeah, you know what's funny is I think in English sometimes the A and the E, the soft A and the soft E, acceptance. To me, it's almost exactly the same, and it's because it's just saying it really quickly, right? Acceptance. So when I say acceptance, I hear an A in my head. So anyway, thank you for noticing. That's kind of how language is, right? It's like the vowels sort of morph into each other. Okay. So anyway, so let's do our shadowing with meal prep. So first, I usually meal prep on Sundays for the whole week. One more time. I usually meal prep on Sundays for the whole week. Next, my fridge is full of meal prep containers. My fridge is full of meal prep containers. And then finally, meal prep is the key to sticking to a diet. Meal prep is the key to sticking to a diet. All right, and then our last one, which was actually just from today, is no pressure. So this is a really common term that we say when we want to make sure the other person doesn't feel like there's any obligation. It's like, no pressure, you don't have to do this, don't worry. So I personally say no pressure often. If I invite someone somewhere, like, oh, hey, if you want to do this, if you want to come over later, like that would be great, but no pressure. It just means don't feel obligated. If you say no, it is totally okay. That's pretty much what it means. That's when it's most commonly used. So let's do the shadowing. First, if you can't make it, no pressure. If you can't make it, no pressure. Reply whenever you have time. No pressure. Reply whenever you have time. No pressure. And then last one. I'm having a party tonight. You're welcome to come, but no pressure. I'm having a party tonight. You're welcome to come, but no pressure. It's a really nice phrase. It's like, I would love to have you there, but if you can't, it's totally fine, really. No pressure at all. No pressure at all. We say it like that a lot too. We add at all. No pressure at all. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's class. It was really fun going through the cheat sheet, and I'm excited to provide more of these because I do think it is some of our most useful material. So have a great one, everyone, and we'll see you next time.